What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, finally, Marvel Studios has released Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness in all its HD and IMAX ratio glory on Disney+, which gives all us Easter egg hunters a ton more frames and details to comb through, and we'll have some videos in the coming weeks. However, today we have to talk about an official Marvel Studios confirmation when it comes to the design of John Krasinski's Fantastic Four Mr. Fantastic and how he entered the MCU and the movie just the same. An official Doctor Doom Easter egg confirmed by Marvel. We're going to break down exactly what they said, what it was, and why this, in concert with a ton of other Easter eggs that have shown up real recently, especially in Moon Knight, certainly point to this character showing up sooner than later. We'll also talk about him in context of Kang, where we are right now in the Multiverse saga, and where I think he'll show up as opposed to Kang sometime in the near future. We're breaking it all down, Doctor Doom in the MCU. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below that will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so even though the movie's live on Disney Plus right now, which means if you already have a Disney Plus subscription, you don't have to pay any extra money to buy it. You can also purchase the DVD, the Blu-ray, and even the digital version, all of which come with some bonus audio commentary, which includes the producer Richie Palmer talking about John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic's entrance into the MCU and what was so special about his costume. Quote, "It's exciting. That costume designed by Ryan Metternich is really a special treat. The detail of the teleportation device he uses to get into the scene is something we took from the comics. That's Doctor Doom's time platform." Now, before we jump into that time platform and why that's going to be super useful for Mr. Fantastic, whether or not he's developed it yet, when we pick up with him in the 616, this confirms that Marvel Studios is actively starting to seed Doctor Doom Easter eggs a lot more than we got as the preface for Thanos, and this is important for a couple of reasons. It goes ahead and solidifies all of those Easter eggs we pointed out during Moon Knight. It was very obviously Doomstadt Latveria, where at first Mark Spector comes into the Scarab from Arthur Harrow. There's no question about that. Add that up to the WANDA we saw on the box, and you guys love to jump in the comments. I've seen them on other videos too, where you're like, the box didn't say Von Doom. Of course it didn't. It's the way that it just said simply WANDA because the chair was in the way, letting us know that the imagery of Doomstadt in that very same scene was exactly spot on. And we've talked about some theories of where Doomstadt is already developed in the MCU. We'll go on to talk about that in future videos, but this is a confirmation of Marvel Studios extremely cognizant of the villain Doctor Doom, a classic Fantastic Four villain, but also a classic villain of Secret Wars Battleworld. And there has been just a little bit of confusion because Kang has barely gotten his due, just introduced, and as Kevin Feige recently said, that is the impetus for the multiversal saga, why the shenanigans were allowed to happen in Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness in the first place. I've also put forth the theory that while the 838 was blaming Doctor Strange for the incursion of dreamwalking, the incursions may have only started happening because of what we saw with He Who Remains during the first season of Loki's finale. And in that, Kang may be responsible for what's going on with the multiverse, but Doom may be the one who seizes the opportunity. There is a lot to be left in the MCU for as wide as they've gone now. There is plenty of time for both of these villains to coexist and go forward with their own agendas without it sort of being mutually exclusive. I'm not also sure that just defeating Kang the Conqueror is going to solve the problem of a battle world, and it may be, while Doom has designs on conquering Earth, much in the way Tony Stark wanted to put a suit of armor around the world to protect it, that ambition is going to be matched by Victor Von Doom in his ambition to conquer. We've also heard some very light rumors that he may be the impetus behind what happens between Atlantis and Wakanda battling. That's just in his conquest to take over Africa. He knows he cannot take over Wakanda, so he'd rather have Atlantis do his work. That same attitude could be brought to Kang, allow Kang to break the universe and sort of try to conquer it, and just at the moment when the Fantastic Four can beat him, then try to take over and seize Battleworld in that moment, making him the ultimate and final villain they'll have to pass in Secret Wars. Look, there have been multiple Secret Wars, and it's always been about Doctor Doom, at least the first two, the ones that I expect them to draw these stories from. And we've already reported on, just at the beginning of this year, Jim Shooter, the original writer on that 1980s run of Secret Wars, said that Marvel Studios locked up a work-for-hire contract for him, even though it was originally work-for-hire, meaning Marvel hired him, he did the work, and now his IP, that art, is truly theirs. They wanted to make sure it was under contract because the Secret Wars is coming, and I don't think it would be such a light thing for them to switch King and Doctor Doom when it's always been Doom, or God Emperor Doom, God King Doom, whichever final version of him we're going to get. Look, Victor Von Doom is such an important character to Marvel, and he has been done no justice on the silver screen until now. This is an opportunity for Marvel Studios to get this right. And so while Kang may spend a lot of the time keeping them busy here in the foreseeable future through Marvel Phase 4, make no bones about it, I have no problem going on record saying, I suspect if we truly do see a Secret Wars saga that this is all leading to, that Doom will be somewhat involved, if not the main antagonist by the time it's all said and done. And what's really good news for us old school Marvel fans now is that he's on their radar. They know exactly what they're doing, drawing from that time portal, which, by the way, showed up in the very first introduction of Doctor Doom. It showed up with him in the first comic all the way back in Fantastic Four, number 5 in 1962. The fact that they're drawing on that doesn't necessarily mean that this 838 Fantastic Four Reed Richards has the ability to time travel, but Reed Richards and any of the Marvel heroes being able to travel through time along the 616 continuity is going to be super important for them to defeat Kang, as that's already been set up through the TVA and what happened during Avengers Endgame. Speaking of which, if they don't have time travel by the time we pick up with John Krasinski in Fantastic Four 1, it's already been a thing in the MCU, and seeing what we already have in Ms. Marvel, we know that it's pretty public. They know exactly what the Avengers did, which means that technology, and maybe even some of it, is made public now. So if Tony Stark, with no previous technology or information, could solve time travel on a hunch, then obviously Reed Richards, the smartest man in the world as he was introduced in 838, will be able to solve it with some previous knowledge that not only is it doable, but that some of that technology already exists and in the MCU. So it won't be too much of a leap to be able to give him this time portal, and I don't suspect this is going to be able to do what America Chavez can do, traveling across the multiverse. That'll come in handy too, but just along the timeline in the 616 is going to be super important as they battle Kang coming up. But guys, let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments, how hyped you are for Doom, and as always, who do you have for the casting? Quite honestly, knowing that Daniel Craig was talking to Marvel Studios and then didn't end up in Multiverse of Madness, while I've never really considered him for a villain role, I think that would work rather well. But you guys tell me who you got for Doctor Doom in the MCU. Quickly, let's jump into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Okay, we're still giving away a PlayStation 5 every 20,000 subscribers, all the way up to 1 million, the next of which is 980, which we are headlong into, could easily hit by next month's end. So if you want to be entered to win, or for any other giveaways, all the same rules will always apply. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button. Then, because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. So comment on the videos, it's that simple. All winners will be announced at the end of videos the way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires. So I sincerely appreciate you checking that out. Thanks for checking this out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.